Good morning. Welcome to the Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26, also streamed on Facebook. I'm your host, Ed Nunez, along with producer Alden Iwani. Our very special guest today, Artesia boys basketball coach Mike Mondragon. His Bulldogs are ranked number one in 4A this week, and they just won the Hope tournament, beating the host Hope Huskies on Saturday in a pretty good beating, a pretty good win, I should say, 61-45. No disrespect to Jim Murphy, who's one of the legends of New Mexico basketball. Coach Mondragon, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me, Ed. I appreciate it.
You know, Coach, 5 wins in a row. And my son and I were able to do the game. My son had the play-by-play on Saturday, and an impressive win for your Bulldogs, who are, I think, you're ranked number one this week, and Haddon's been number one. St. Pius has been number one. You beat St. Pius 70-62. You've got Roswell tonight. It doesn't stop. And then I believe you've got Hobbs and Ronald Ross after that. So that doesn't stop. You know, you mentioned that to me. It doesn't stop. And, you're right in the swing of it. You've got Hobbs. So tell us a little bit about where the Bulldogs are. You've got to be pretty happy about what the program's, how you're playing right now.
Yeah, very ecstatic. Ed, people don't realize, here in Artesia, we really promote multi-sport athletes, and myself and Coach Moppin and Coach Bickle, who's our head football and baseball coaches, the big three sports. We do a really good job of working together. And we got our guys, on a Monday right after the state championship football, and we jumped right into it and played. I think it was like 5 games in 10 days or 6 games in 10 days. And we're starting to get our legs under us, Ed. We're starting to learn the cohesiveness. We're starting to play better. We're starting to guard better and starting to get in basketball shape. And it was a great weekend for us to come out. And, West Las Vegas, we opened up with, and a lot of teams don't realize how good they are. I mean, they're athletic. They're long. They're fast. Came out and jumped on them pretty quick. And then, of course, Friday night with Pius, really liked the way we came out and competed for 4 quarters, found a way to win that game. And then just finishing it off on Saturday against a really good Hope team. Really good weekend for us. Like you said, we're playing a lot better. We're doing a lot of things really well, but there's still a lot of room for growth, and we have to make sure we continue to work hard in another big test for us tonight with Roswell High.
You're right. The West Las Vegas ranked pretty decently. St. Pius was number one, and he beats Los Alamos and Coach Bustos up there in his second season. But you mentioned the football program, and I'm real. Jeremy Maupin is. I try not to have repeat guests on this show, but Jeremy's been on with me 3 times, man, in Los Lunas and then twice at Artesia. Him and I have gotten to be pretty good friends. I really like him a lot. But then Coach, the baseball coach. I think Artesia was in the state championship last year, if I'm right.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I know they lost in the title game last year. Coach Ortiz was the coach at that time, and he's no longer with us. He's moved on and he's gone to Cleveland to teach over there. But Coach Bickle's our head baseball coach. He also coaches football. It's just unique, Ed. It's really, people don't realize how hard it is to get a multi-sport athlete. I shouldn't say hard. Hard's probably not the right word. But how much work we have to work together and kind of give and take and understand that, those football guys are going to come out with probably 1 or 2 practices and we're going to get right into it. So some of our legs are lacking, some of things like that. But the physicality and then, competition, Ed, is something we really preach here. And when you're competing for a state football championship and then you competed in a state baseball championship the year prior, that helps your program. That helps your kids. Competition breeds confidence, poise, all of the things you need to make a run in your program as well. And it's just helping us in basketball. And you're starting to see those basketball legs come on and you're starting to see that cohesiveness. And, we're a little bit behind some of those teams that start in August and play all August, all fall ball. But for us, man, we're we love it. We love our kids bringing that physicality and that confidence and that competitive spirit that comes in and helps us in basketball as well.
You mentioned, I think, 11 of your players played football, so you jump right into it. And, if you look at I really like Charlie Campbell a lot. I really do. We're going to have him on our show, Road to the Pits, tomorrow night, my son and I. But if you look at the roster, we're going to talk about Braylon Vega in a little while, a transfer from Hobbs, 6'2". Corbin Dominguez comes off the bench, 6'3". Trent England, 6'4". Carl Houteling, he's 6'2". Jack Byer, 6'3". Jay Steen, 6 foot. Clay Kincaid, 6'8". Stephen Williams, 6'5". And, if you look at Kincaid, I thought I told you this last year, when I saw you at the state tournament that him and Charlie were going to be. I said this to you. I said you guys are going to be really good next year. I don't know if you remember that after you lost the hope in the quarterfinals. So coming into the season, to talk a little, I really like Charlie a lot. I do because he's going to drive, and he did that on Saturday. He drove and he either pulled up and dished and no looks. He made it look. I love what he said after the game too, man. My teammates let me have some fun. A leader. I think he's a leader out there. I really do. And so in Kincaid, man, that guy's stronger than heck, man. And that again, length and strength. Now, football power is a little different than basketball, but it translates after we get our football legs out there. And you got a kid like Kincaid and Hope. Braden, who you're on, block 4 shots. Got to give him credit. Braden, you're on blocks, but he's not. He's 6'6" and kind of lean. When you got power like that, I think it definitely helps. And then talk a little bit about Braylon Vega, the transfer. He averages 14 points per game. He played a lot at Hobbs last year. What does he bring to your backcourt?
Well, he just brings some of that confidence. He's played big minutes in Hobbs when he came in, and we didn't have him this summer. So he came in August, and this is when we first started the season, that was the first time all the guys got together. And that cohesive just takes some time, learning each other. But he's really given us another option outside, another scoring option, which always helps. Somebody can knock down shots. And, he really didn't play very well against Hope. Not in a bad way. I mean, he just didn't shoot it. I shouldn't say that. He didn't play well. He just didn't shoot it well. And that's pretty neat whenever you can beat a Hope Christian team by 15 and your second leading scorer, I think he had 2 points. And we got a guy like Trent Eglin that came in and had 16, and then you got Clay Kincaid, another one you got to worry about that can score 12, 16, 18. Then you got Charlie Campbell, who's always, averaging probably 16 to 18 for us. So it's really neat to add another scorer, another basketball player, somebody who knows the game at a high level and plays it at a high level and shoots it at a high level. He just didn't shoot it very well on Saturday, but he had 7 rebounds, I think 6 assists in that game. So he's doing other things, and that's what's really neat with our guys. You don't have to just worry about one. You got to worry about 4 or 5, and that's what makes us really unique and really hard to guard.
I thought Trent had one of the nicest shots of the night. A left-hand reverse layup on the right side. That was beautiful, man. It really was. And again, length and strength, man. That's tough to defend because you're going to the rebounding. When I talked to Coach Murphy before the game, who I've known for years, I love Jim. You mentioned being good for basketball. He's everything that you want. A good man, a good father, a good mentor, good leader, a pillar. But that's what he said to me. I said, "What concerns you about Artesia rebounding?" He said, "That concerns me because of their size." And I think this is going to be a lineup here. You have a tough test tonight for sure, but that travels well to the state tournament. Everything, all things considered, and then adding a guy like Braylon Vega, to your backcourt. Now, I watched closely on Saturday. You ran plays for him. You did. He just didn't make them, but they're on the rim. They're not like off the side of the rim or off the side of the backboard. They're right there. Those are shots he's going to make. We're going to run the same play over and over because he's going to make them. You know that. The kid can handle. He can shoot. You mentioned to me when I talked to you on Saturday, he can spread the floor. He helps us spread the floor.
Right, absolutely. And that's what you got to see, Ed, is what's really cool is we did run plays, and every one of his shots he took were good shots. As a coach, sometimes those kids, when they miss shots, they tend to start forcing things. And I thought he did a great job of just being patient. When we did execute those plays, they were wide open. He just didn't knock them down. And what's nice, too, when you got to come out and close out on Braylon Vega, that's one less rebounder, like you talked about. With our height and our length, we've got to make sure we dominate the glass. And we did a great job of that all 3 nights there at the Hope Christian Tournament.
I got to say this. I played and coached, and my thing is this. I would tell my bigs, you better dominate. You should dominate. If you don't, Ray Rodriguez said this, the great Cibola and Highland coach. It doesn't do us any good to play to be big unless we play big. And I thought your bigs played big, man. I thought, and plus if you look at them, they're strong, man. You look at them because you got to ride them out of there. You're the other defense. You got a 3/4 front, full front. It's not easy when they're carving out that kind of space on the blocks, man. That's not easy.
No, and we take a lot of pride in that, Ed. We talk about rebounding statistic for us is something that we have on our goal board, and we know with our height and our length, we've got to dominate the glass. And it's not just the post. Campbell's averaging about 6-8 rebounds. Braylon had 7 on Saturday. Trent Eglin's, I think him and Clay together were averaging around 10, 11, 12. And then it's nice when you go to your bench and you got guys like Steven Williams and Jack Byers who are big and strong and physical guys that do the same thing. So it's really neat, too, at how much these guys love each other, man. They talk about faith all the time, playing for each other, making sure they have fun. And that's something that I thought we did a really good job this weekend, is just having fun, playing for each other, making sure we take advantage of every opportunity on the offensive, defensive end. And they did that, and it showed. And we're barely starting to get going. And there's still, me as the coach, man, I'm not going to be satisfied with, the rankings and things like that. We still have a lot of things we've got to get better at. But like you said, that's something we really, really preach, is making sure we rebound the ball on both ends.
Great state semifinals in 2018 and 2021 District 4 or 5A championships, 2017, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. The Elite Eight in 2015, 2018, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. So you've been there. I remember when you were at Moriarty, you did a heck of a job there. So, you've also coached football at the 8th grade level, and you've got some great experience. We'll get into your mentor, Bubba Jennings, who I played in the North-South game against in 1980. Well, he was your coach at Artesia. So, this is a moment that's been coming, and this is a team. Again, you've got to play. Like I said, I've been there. I know what you're thinking. We got to get one game at a time, and it's been a test. And so far, we've passed them, but we've got to keep going. And it starts tonight against Roswell. Then you got Hobbs, and I talked to Coach Ross I loved my conversation with him. That guy's a good dude, man. He's trying to bring back that tradition of Hobbs. And when you mentioned Hobbs, and you talk about Ralph Tasker and what 16? What did he win 16 or I don't know. And then we were talking about Coach Gilmore. Coach Gilmore won 5, man, and people kind of like afterthought, like, and he deserves all the respect in the world, but when Hobbs basketball is about Ralph Tasker, and you're doing it here at Artesia in a football town. And again, Jeremy Maupin and you guys work together, but talk a little bit about the culture you're trying to build, and you've built there, but it's one more step to get to where you want to get.
Yeah, it's just one day at a time, man. It's about getting in the gym. I still remember about, 4 years ago when we lost on the state title to Del Norte. That was the COVID year, and I felt like, we just need to do a little bit more. So what we did as a staff is we went to kind of morning workouts. We went Monday and Thursday mornings from 6:30 to 7:30. We're fortunate here in Artesia to have a weights program. I got with Coach Maupin, and he was all for it. So we actually get, from August until November, we get some of our guys to come in the mornings, and we're working fundamentals, man. We're working shooting, passing, dribbling, finishing at the rim, and that's really helped us to kind of get to the next level. And we got a group of guys, too, that are gym rats, man, and just because they're in football doesn't mean they're not coming to open gyms in the morning and in the evening. And we got guys that are competitors that want to win and want to be great, not just in hoops. They want to be great in the weight room. They want to be great in the classroom. So really unique. And this junior group, man, it's really cool. Like you said, Charlie Campbell, he's the coach's kid. We have Coach Campbell on our staff. And these guys, it's cool when you have coaches' kids that you get to coach because, Ed, coaches' kids are just – they held the higher standards. That's just the way it is as coaches. They could score 40 points and it's still not good enough. They shouldn't have done this. They shouldn't have done that. So it's a really unique group that's really taking a lot of pride. And you know what, too, Ed? It's really hard with today's society without specializing. Everybody in the metro, everybody around the state's got kids that they lose because they want to specialize. And this group realizes, hey, I may not be a basketball player first, but I want to help the basketball program. I may not be a football player first, but I want to help the football program. Same thing goes with baseball, and track. And it takes a lot of confidence. They put their egos aside. They know it's about the team and success first. And we got a group of guys that are on that path, and we just got to stay focused on playing for each other and keep doing what we're doing.
Community effort at Artesia, and that's great that you're able to work with the other coaches like that. Not everybody does that. That's not everybody says, hey, Coach Maupin, who I love to death. Now, that guy's I call him the mad scientist of life, because he's got these plays like, wow, man, he used to amaze me some of the plays he would run. He really did. And he's just a good dude. He's a really good guy. So you're lucky you have that kind of atmosphere there at Artesia. Coach, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more about this version of the 2024-2025 Artesia boys basketball program after these messages on the Sports Desk.
They don't rebuild, they just reload. Long three, Noki, nothing but the bottom of the net. That really took away the depth they have in the front court. They got to have help on him. I want to move.
No, that was Herrera who fell. Outside, stolen by Armitage. One-on-one floater, good.
Drive to the left. Gives it back to Zoe Benali. Three! Peek underneath. And then Armitage took it away. Play finally finishes the possession. Another loose ball. Lund in transition. Showtime. Get out your cameras. Double screen. Nice post re-entry. Lost his footing. Lund. Count the basket. Houston saw the paint open up. Swatted away by Peters. Martinez trying to finish over Big Smooth. And Big Smooth. One and a half seconds. They get it into Hogue. He'll fire a three. It'll count. Off the window.
Gad Harris. Matador's on the move. Diabate in transition. Throws it down. Counted and a foul. Zaire Diabate with the right hand tomahawk.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Welcome back to the Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26, also streamed on Facebook. I'm your host, Ed Nunez. Our very special guest today, Artesia boys basketball coach Mike Mondragon. His Artesia Bulldogs ranked #1 right now. Now, you know, Coach, you don't put much into. I've known you for a long time, man. I think we started getting close when you were at Moriarty, and I did a lot of St. Pius games. Much respect for you. Much respect for any coach that does what you do. And you know, not only that though, you're a math teacher. You know, and man, so algebra 1, algebra 2, geometry. I struggle with that. You might have been able to help me, man. I was never good at any math. You know, you've been the head boys basketball coach at Artesia. You know, you played for Artesia back in the day and won a championship with the great Bubba Jennings. You know, and Bubba, I believe, is coaching in Texas. Is that right now?
Yeah, he's probably Nietzsche said that we didn't actually win one. We lost in the state semis.
You lost, yeah.
My junior and senior year, and I actually played for Paul Kirkwood, who was Bubba's assistant. Bubba left when I was a sophomore. My sophomore year, he took off and went to Lubbock Coronado, and now he's coaching small college ball there in Texas. But it's kind of neat you said that. I sent you a photo of the 95 state
show it here in a minute. Yeah,
the 95 state championship team, man. We got to honor them this year in our City of Champions Classic. We brought Coach Jennings and Coach Kirkwood and that whole team back, Andrew Patterson. They actually beat Academy to break their 6 year in a row streak.
Six people.
Yeah, 6-time defending champions. And they set the bar, man. That was 30 years ago, and we're trying to make sure we can, with this group, to get back to where they were and win another title. And we only have two, 95, 97 with Coach Jennings, and we've been there a few times. We lost back in 18 or 19, I can't remember what's 20. Actually, it was 20 with that group in the title game. I was on the staff with Coach Montoya when we lost to Roswell High with my assistant, Derek Montoya, in the championship well. So we've been close, man. We're just trying to get over the edge, and it's just really cool to honor those dudes that have come before us, and a lot of pride and respect being a Bulldog basketball player, man.
One of the greatest players in New Mexico history was Bubba Jennings. I could tell you stories. I mean, when we played North-South, him and Wallace Williams were the starting guards, and Bubba had 29 and Wallace had 28. They beat us 120 to 113 without three-point shots. Think about what Bubba would have done with three-pointers. An amazing player, but an even better person. I've interviewed him on the sports desk, and I wrote an article about him when he was inducted to the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame years ago, and just a class act, man. Really, his dad, Brooks Jennings Sr., actually drilled with him with tennis rackets, shoot over the tennis racket, and that's how Bubba got to be such a great shooter. Tell us a little bit about what you learned. I remember you telling me he used to run you guys like crazy, but tell us about what you learned from him in coaching style, maybe.
Well, just details, man. Everything goes back to details and focusing on the small things. Bubba Jennings, like I said, he left my freshman year, but he had me all the way through elementary school and on up. And then Paul Kirkwood took over, which is very similar style. Get your shooters opportunities, execute your sets, execute your offense. And then again, just the tempo. We love to run. If you remember Bubba's teams and when I played here, and we love to get up and down and we love to run in tempo, but it's organized tempo, Ed. It's not come out and run. Whoever's got the ball, go shoot. It's, hey, we're running with a purpose, getting to spots with a purpose, make sure we set good screens. Execution is very important. Then, of course, the defensive philosophy. Keep everything in front. We want to make sure we guard, but we can't get beat off the dribble. And we carry a lot of that into where I'm at now. And I'm kind of a hybrid. You got to kind of adapt with the times. And a lot of what Bubba did, a lot of what Paul Kirkwood did. And then, of course, a lot of mentors of mine. Adrian Ortega was a big piece of what I do, bounce a lot of ideas. Joe Carpenter and Hobbs. And then my dad, I got to give my dad, Billy Mondragon, he's the head girls coach here for a long time, boys coach back in the 70s at Des Moines. They lost to Springer in the state championship, if I remember right, with Eloy Brazil. So just
wow.
a big coaching tree for me and a lot of respect. It's not a game. It's kind of weird. Ed, I just talked to my dad this morning, and he's giving me pointers already on what we need to do for Roswell High, make sure we're ready. And it's really neat to have guys like that in your life that you can bounce ideas off of that are very successful and very knowledgeable in the game of basketball.
Des Moines, that goes back a long way. And Coach Carpenter, that's one of my favorite guys in the whole state. I love that dude, man. What kind of conversations do you have with him? I mean, he's one of the if you don't know, right? He's one of the best dudes you could ever know. Really, a great coach and a great person. What kind of conversations do you have with him? Because people would say, hey, man, he's in Hobbs, you're in Artesia, kind of some rivalry there, and you guys are in a different classification. But what does he share with you?
Well, it's always knowledge. We don't get to talk as much as you like. You know how it is, Ed. You get busy with his season and busy with ours, but we get to go to the Hobbs holiday and he gets to watch us play, and I just always bounce it out. Hey, what do you think? What are your thoughts? What are we lacking? Things like that. People don't realize Coach Cart, man, when he first started, he used to be a jacket, take it off, swing it when he was at Roswell High Girls. And my dad was the head girls coach. And we spent a lot of time together in the summers, slept on his couch plenty of times and had a lot of fun together. And it's just great to have gentlemen that are in your life that are there to support you through the thick and the thin, and that's cool. Easy Ponis is another one at Valley that I get to talk to. So my little brother, Brian Mondragon, coach at New Mexico State under Marv Menzies. Just a lot of knowledge and a lot of people that have been in different programs and can pick your brain and can definitely make you better. And that's what we're constantly trying to do. Coach Jennings is there. I get to talk to him.
There's that picture right there.
Often and just it's really cool to just the basket. And people don't realize, we are a football town. We have a lot of basketball tradition here, and we've won district 5 years in a row. We played in the finals a few times, and And we're a city of champions, not just in football, in hoops, and baseball, and FFA, and ag. And it's just cool to be able to have those kind of people. And Cooper Henderson's another one, man. I mean, I know Cooper is a football coach, but I'm constantly in his ear. Hey, coach, how do we – because he's a guy that's been successful, and he's a big John Wooden guy too. So you would know that Coach Henderson, even though he's a football guy, had a lot of John Wooden characteristics with him with basketball. So,
you know what? And the guy, how many championships did Cooper Henderson, Coach Henderson, win? He won quite a bit.
I think it's 13. I think 12 or 13, and it's just unbelievable the amount of success he's had, and again, just bouncing stuff off these guys on what they're telling their teams and how to stay focused and how to improve, and just again, all those guys. It all goes back to details, focusing on the little things, whether it's blocking out, whether it's cutting with pace, whether it's rebounding, whether it's setting good screens and execution, and then another thing too, that is building that relationship with your guys on your team. You know, getting to know them outside of the court, getting to know them what they like and how their things are at home, and that's really, really important. I think sometimes you get caught up in the winning, and you don't realize there's a lot more that goes into winning. The winning should take care of itself. It's process oriented, not result oriented, and that's what we really preach here in our program, and it pays off.
Iron sharpens iron, they say.
That's it.
You know, I couldn't think of some. You look at the guys you mentioned: Cooper Henderson, your dad, Joe Carpenter. There's a lot of Bubba Jennings. Collectively, how many years of experience? And those men are all very well respected. You know, it's your father, man. You know, does Des Moines even have a team anymore? Do they still play?
No, they do. You know, Dwayne Kibbe was there for a while.
Dwayne Kibbe.
They were pretty good for a little bit, but again, man, that's back in '79. Heck, I wasn't even born. I mean, I wasn't even when he graduated. I think he graduated in '79. I can't remember what year he graduated, to be honest with you. But I still remember there's pictures of me on the ramp with my pops and my brother and just being in the pit with him and enjoying the All-Star game and him coaching the All-Star game. And we just love, man, we love hoops in our family. You know, we're bred for it. I love watching it. My kids are starting to get to enjoy that with me on the bench and shooting. I think they got ran off at halftime at the Pies game trying to shoot it at halftime on the court. So I guess that's a good thing. They're trying to get out there and get some more shots up. But it's definitely a blessing to have that family support and have my dad there and just people in my life that are always rooting for me and allowing me to get better and pushing me to get better.
I was lucky to share that with my son. You know, my son and I was able to last long enough to play some decent competitive hoops with him. We got to coach a team together. You know, we've broadcast together. So, it doesn't we're still broadcasting together. So to share that with him is just an unbelievable moment. Coach, we got about a minute left. Tell us what it's going to take. You know, we know what the ultimate goal is. And you told us here in this, this show that we've done, we know what the goal is. Tell us what Artesia has to do to hoist up that blue trophy in 2025.
Just stay present, man. Stay where our feet are. Keep getting better. Don't get caught up in things we can't control, whether it's NM preps or max preps or sports day. Anybody that, we just got to focus on things we can control and constantly get better. Make sure we take advantage of every opportunity, have fun, continue to play for each other. It's just a fun group, man. They're young. We're growing up every single day. Our schedule's gotten us ready, and our schedule will do that again tonight. And just continue to focus on getting better and all focus on all those little things and the big picture and make sure we give ourselves the best opportunity to get a good seed for the state tournament. We got to finish out strong today, finish out strong on Friday, and then get ready to try to win another district championship, which should get us a good seed for state.
Take care of business one game at a time. That's got to be the message. I know that. And, although it's kind of hard not to say, hey, look what we got here. It's hard. It's right there. I would be saying that, but I understand what I'd have to tell the team. The message has to be the same. We have to keep working, remain hungry, keep doing what we're doing every single day. And I think you've built a great culture there. Artesia boys basketball coach Mike Mondragon, we appreciate you being our guest this morning. We wish you the best of luck against Roswell tonight. We'll catch up with you later down the season.
Thanks, Ed. I appreciate it, man, and I appreciate you guys having us on. And we're so blessed here in Artesia. I want to thank our administration and my staff. We have a great staff, too, and I just appreciate all they do, and it's great to be a Bulldog, man.
I bet. For producer Alden Niwani, I'm Ed Nunez. We'll see you next week on the Sports Desk.